Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Stardew Valley here on the Game Professor channel. I'm your host, the Game Professor, and it's been a hot second since I recorded, so I actually don't distinctly remember what all is happening. Cloudy and wind, that's right. And I've been playing a lot on a different save file as well, just to add to my confusion. But I did see that we have our copper hoe ready, so we will be getting that today, and we'll get these beautiful, beautiful eggplants while we're at it as well. But let me just remind myself what all we have going on. That's right. That's right. I just got the prismatic shard a couple episodes ago, and I still need to unlock a lot of stuff in the community center. So, I do not have... keep going to the wrong thing. Gonna save one of these guys. Then we're gonna sell the rest of them. And while I'm thinking about it, get my axe out so that I can get some more wood here from this wonderful pine tree we have here. That's right, I also finally got a glow ring here. So, lots of good stuff happening right now. We'll say hello to our lovely chickens. How are you ladies doing today? Really happy? Really happy? Really happy? And really happy. It's a good thing that all of them are happy and not just Mrs. Tweety. I'd be a little concerned if it was just Mrs. Tweety who was happy. But, yeah, since I'm getting back into this file now after a bit, let me just kind of use today at the very least as a bit of a housekeeping day. I know these days aren't the most interesting to watch, but really it's one of the things that I love about this game in terms of its just constant playability is that you just kind of work your way back into it. Let me see here. And I know that I'm gonna need to, I don't know if I've mentioned this actually yet. I'm sure I have, honestly, but I am gonna be doing stuff with fish ponds over in the animal quadrant there. So I might start thinking about getting some of those going sooner rather than later. I don't remember how much they cost. That's always the biggest thing, is remembering how much stuff costs. Because I want to make sure that I'm getting everything nice and built up, nice and expanded for this file. Because I'm not the sort of person who rushes this game distinctly, but I'm sure you all have noticed now that I get very focused on the monetary success element of this game, and because of that, it means I like to build things up quickly. And it's truly to the point where I actually try to make the farm grow too quickly. And I realize I've probably talked about this before. I really didn't want to try to make the farm grow too quickly this time around, but it has kind of just happened naturally, just because it's the way that I play the game. But before I forget about it, our beautiful prismatic shard, I can't wait to turn you into a galaxy sword. I cannot wait for that day. We need a lot more money before I can do that. And frankly, in order to do that, we probably need to be able to make some pale ale. Actually, remind myself. Pam is thirsty. Yes, we do have that mission. You know what? I am just going to bring a whole bunch of stuff up with me to Robin's. Whoops. Did not need that fishing rod. But I'm going to go up to Robin's right now. And we are just going to check the cost, both monetary and ingredients, for lack of a better term, wise, for a shed and for a fish pond. Because I think I want to make either one of those next, and best way to start going with that is to just get one of them built. I believe they both are under 5,000, I think. I might be completely wrong with that, but I think they are. So let's take a look. Farm buildings. Definitely don't have enough for the coop upgrade yet. Okay, so a fish pond is 5 grand. Alright. A shed is 15 grand. Alright, well, that tells us what we're doing. We're going to get a fish pond. So let's make a fish pond. Just going to start getting this to happen down here. I'm going to have to do some adjusting of where things are, but I'll start with that there. It's just a preliminary location for it. We will do adjusting. I didn't do as good a job planning out that quadrant as I usually like to do. But, okay, I'll start working on your new fish pond first thing tomorrow morning. Thank you, Miss Robin. So, with that, still have a few hours that we can go get our hoe. So I'm just going to quickly get these last couple trees up here. Because what I'm hurting for the most in my other save file that I've been playing has been wood. So, and a big part of that being those elements of trying to build up the farm too quickly. And the use of the resources, especially the natural resources. Coals, 400 gold. Cool, I like that. But the ability to use resources to build up your farm, to build up your ability to process things on the farm in particular, you can very quickly go, frankly, overboard. And while yes, you can buy everything very easily, especially first year, resources from both Robin and Clint, just to give you the visual on that. Coal, 150. Copper, 75. Iron, 150. Gold, 150. Gold is 400. Like, the big one here, though, is the coal. And for wood, I'd have to go back up to Robin's to see exactly what the price is. But after year 1 is over, right at the start of year 2, the cost of everything goes up when you're looking at those natural resources from both Clint and Robin. And it's a nice bit of commentary that the game offers in terms of the use of natural resources, because it really forces you as the player to think, okay, am I going to try to harvest every rock that I see whenever I see it? Am I going to cut down every tree that there is in the valley that I'm able to cut down? And yes, you can do these things. Stone in particular is highly renewable. You know how the levels are in the mines. They really, really just have constant stone all the time. And while you can harvest every single tree in the valley without any problem, you then have to wait for X number of days until each tree will regrow. And not every tree is going to regrow at the same rate. That's yet another bit of RNG that the game utilizes in terms of how much growth happens for a tree every day. Same thing happens with the wild trees that you're growing on your farm. I'm just going to deplete my energy by cutting down a couple more trees, just trying to get as much wood as possible. But I now would potentially have to wait at least a week for all of this to regrow. I'm going to get rid of that coal just because between all those, wood's more important, the trilobite's more important. A single piece of coal I can deal with dropping. But like I was saying, I need to consider the possibility whenever I decide to just have a day where I chop down trees all day. Okay, how long is it going to be before I can regrow all these trees? How much time am I going to need in order to replenish the wood that I potentially need? Like you can see, I have over 1,000 wood right now. I have over 2,000 wood right now, and that's a great position to be in terms of wood. It's not really gonna last though. It'd be just because of how quickly you will go through these resources when you're starting to build out a shed with kegs or preserve jars. And because of that, you just really have to think about it as a player. You need to think critically about, okay, how am I going to ensure that I have enough wood to do these things that I want to on the farm while still leaving the wood for the world around me. Because inevitably you may come across a quest where Robin asks for wood, or down the line, once you finish upgrading your house completely, there's a community upgrade that you can complete, and that requires a lot of wood. If you are being quick to use up your wood and cut down every tree, if you're trying to do this in the mindset that the game itself is utilizing primarily, that you should be thinking about the environment and trying to not overtax it, you're going to have to really think critically about how you're cutting down trees, how you're using that wood. This is a very long discussion just about wood in the game, but I really, really appreciate the fact that it forces you to think about how much wood you're cutting down. Because even though it is a renewable resource in the game, and you're never going to completely remove wood sources from the game, it forces you to think about it in the way that we have to be thinking about it in the real world. So, very cool to think about. But now to this discussion with Miss Emily that we've had open here. Keep your mind open and some interesting things might take root. Anyway, how's your day going? It's going well, Emily. Good evening, can I get you anything? I think I'm good for now, Gus, thanks. Pam isn't responding. Oh, so she's completely drunk. Fantastic. Decorations accentuate the feeling of the season. I think it's a worthwhile tradition. I agree, Leah. I agree. Hey, Sam. I think I was meaning to do something, but I forgot. This happens to me all the time. I think it happens to most of us, Sam, honestly. Hi, Game Profess. Read anything interesting in the library lately? Huh. Well, I'll see you around then. I don't know why they switched to the portrait with the headphones on, especially because I know that granted, I will say that I have never personally played through Harvey's heart events. Let me see, where do I even have him? I have virtually no hearts with anybody, but Harvey very rarely gets above 2 or 3 for me. I need a little me up to be ready for another cold night on the ocean. Sounds good, Willie. But I know, back to Harvey, I know that he has a ham radio, and that is primarily what his headphones are for. So just find it interesting that Concerned Ape chose that particular portrait within that discussion. But we'll give Sebastian some sashimi here. I really love this. How did you know? I was this close to moping in bed the entire day. Kinda wish I had now. That's unfortunate. This weather makes me thirsty. Alright, Shane. And finally, sometimes I wonder how I ended up in this town. And nothing else to say. Alright. Well, we are out of energy and I've spent a good amount of the day doing a nice range of things. So let's go to bed and we'll see what tomorrow brings. And I apologize for the very long-winded nature of the discussion surrounding the wood that I gave there, but it really is something that I see as so crucial toward understanding this game. Really, Chester? You're in my bed. You're supposed to be on the bed. Silly cat. Yes, I will go to sleep for the night. Get some money from those eggplants we sold. Ah, yes, the coral as well. So, just over 3,000. Always good. But, as I have said multiple times throughout this playthrough, the environmental commentary is a big part of why I'm doing this playthrough and why I'm so fascinated by this game in the first place. So, we're going to be talking about the environmental stuff a lot. What's our weather tomorrow? Cloudy with gusts of wind. Another bad luck day, alright. And what do we get from the Queen of Sauce? It is I, the Queen of Sauce, here to teach you a new mouth-watering recipe from my secret cookbook. This week's dish? Tortillas! How many of you are gnawing on a microwaved convenience burrito while watching this program? Shame on you! You might as well wrap your beans in an old wash rag. Now listen up. Once you've tried my fresh rustic corn tortillas, you'll never go back. And I already know how to make those. I think that's another one that I bought the recipe for. So, it's all good. I still absolutely love the descriptors that the Queen of Sauce gives, though, so going to try to be really good about reading those always. And I realized as I was looking at my stuff here, I forgot to do my rare seeds. So, whoopsie. I'm gonna regret that, I think. It's alright. Not the end of the world. We'll just have to take care of them next fall, because at this point it's too late to start growing them. But let us let the chickens out. We can see Robin working on the new fish pond. And I think it'll be a bit of a fishing day, just to better get some money back going, because I would like to get a shed in the works ASAP, because getting the pale ale going, being able to get wine going, that's going to be the best way to make money in winter, apart from the little bits of growing that I'm going to do, just because I like to have the winter seeds going as well. Quickly get some cobblestones going here, just to get a little bit more clarity there of our path. But let's see here. Gonna drop things off. And then... no large eggs. Hold on a second. Alright, I have a duck egg. Hiding in one of these. Is this where the duck egg is? Yes, it is. Alright, so I'm gonna make sure that I have those put away. Just to make sure that I'm ready for when I do decide to get that animal bundle completed. That's not what I wanted. There we go. That works. That works. Alright. Let's see here. Just gonna make myself some trap bobbers. Not that I distinctly need them right now, but I always like having them. It's like, if I'm gonna make sure that I have a type of tackle on me at all times, it's going to be a trap bobber. And I was gonna go up to the lake, but I think we have some river fish that we need to get. Some river and some ocean fish for the or no. Okay. Catfish and tiger trout. Well, I think tiger trout is one that we can get right now. So this will all work out. I'm trying to think more in terms of bundles as well as money, not rather than purely money. So have a nice fishing day. Keep things going for us. Get some money back in our coffers. Nice easy one. A salmon. Always exciting. I wish I liked salmon. Salmon is one of those fish that I know it's a really good fish to eat, but I don't like the taste of it, and I don't know why. It's not a really fishy fish, but for me it's fishy. So, one of those funny flavor things, I guess. Because most people, when, like, one of the fish that many people would be like, oh yeah, that's a fishy fish, trout. I don't find trout to be fishy at all. So, very weird. At least my wife and I are aligned on our dislike of salmon, so it's like if we're gonna get fish, we know to get mild or white fish, and it's usually okay. Tilapia can get a little fishy sometimes, but we seem to do well with tilapia and cod. But yeah, both she and I really want to like salmon, and we don't like it. So who knows? It's a mystery. Let's see here. I think it's just going to be a bit of a salmon day, honestly. I might be misremembering on the tiger trout. That might have just been summer. That very well might have just been summer. It's not the end of the world, no matter what. A day of fishing never hurt anyone. And this actually also kind of brings up an interesting kind of alternate perspective on the sustainability discussion regarding the trees and stuff that I was talking about earlier, because you never run out of fish to catch. There's a constant supply of fish, and yes, there's a lot of trash as well, but there is so much fish, and depending on where you fish, you're going to encounter more trash than other places. Whoopsie. Like on your farm, for the most part, you're mostly going to catch trash if you just fish. If you use crab pots, depending on which water source you're looking at, you might get more non-trash items. Like you might get more of the freshwater actual fish that you can get in crab pots, but for the most part, you're mostly looking at trash. And that's really the only bit of sustainability that the game does in regard to fishing. And I kind of feel like it's a missed opportunity, really. As somebody who likes to use fishing as a means to make a lot of money really easily, I recognize really easily that if I were fishing the way, in real life, the way that I fish in this game sometimes, I would be completely depleting a water source. Ah, there's a tiger trout. Perfect. I was right. But but you can't deplete any water source in this game, and I appreciate it from a gameplay perspective because it means you can easily utilize fishing as a means to make a good amount of money pretty easily. However, when so much of this game provides really good commentary on environmentalism and the importance of environmentalism, I do see it as a missed opportunity when really the only bit of commentary that it does is the presence of trash in water sources. And also, don't get me wrong, I realize how significant an issue trash in water sources is. The amount of microplastics that we have in many ocean fish is mind-boggling, really. But it's also, there's also this element of where do many of those trash where are many of those trash sources? Here in the United States, a lot of people will try to push forth like banning straws and stuff like that, when it's like, in terms of the countries that are causing straws to get stuck up sea turtles' noses, because that's the big thing for straws, the United States isn't the main problem on that front. That's not to say that it is not a problem, and I'm certainly not saying that. But in terms of trash within water sources, the United States is not the main problem. There are many more countries that have much less regulation of waste that are the bigger problem. So and as somebody who is married to a nurse and recognizes the medical importance of straws, and as somebody who knows people who were negatively impacted by some of these eliminate straws movements, it's like, yeah. Just getting rid of straws is not the answer. And by the same token, getting rid of single-use medical supplies also is not the way to fix it. And I say that as somebody who recognizes how much single-use everything there is within medicine, and there's a really good reason that it's all single-use. It's to make sure it's sterile. So back to the initial point of this conversation, I got into the fact that it's primarily trash as the conversation starter within this game regarding sustainability of waterways. I think that it's a missed opportunity, both because you can overfish places. You very much can overfish places the same way that you can over-harvest wood and other resources from a place. But also, simply making the conversation trash kind of reduces the conversation to trash, and when the conversation is reduced in that manner, you miss a lot of details, which is a big reason why there's been so much misaligned, I don't quite know the right word to describe the good intended but not well executed commentaries on trash and single-use plastics within medicine, single-use metals within medicine, all these things. Like, I have seen discussions being like, how can we get rid of single-use items within medicine? And it's like, they have to be single-use. There is a medical purpose behind this. We can make better disposal methods, and we can work on developing better types of materials that are more long-lasting. But there is a reason, in terms of more long-lasting, in terms of being able to use for the long term. But simply getting mad at medicine for having single-use plastics or the existence of straws, when the reason they were developed was to help people who couldn't sip, and really just kind of the overuse that has come from them. It's the existence is not the problem, it's overuse. So just yet another sort of long-winded discussion for this episode. I apologize, guys. I guess that's just kind of where my brain is at. I'm wanting to discuss these larger topics in a more long-winded way, and 2 bad luck days in a row in Stardew kind of lends itself well to that. So I apologize if I'm boring right now, but it is purposeful. And let me just double check something. Just to try to have something more fun to discuss. Ah, yes. So, completely changing the topic to other channel stuff. I really hope everybody's been watching and enjoying our little quick form series that I'm doing for the month of October. Obviously, it will be known that it is Telltale's The Walking Dead series at this point, since this episode of Stardew should be going up at the end of week 1, which is the end of season 1. So I really hope everyone's enjoying that. I have not started recording it yet at the time of my recording this. I'm currently trying to get everything else, Stardew, Assassin's Creed, Mass Effect, all that recorded preemptively for the month of October, so that I can just focus on mostly doing stuff related to Walking Dead actively for October. Just keep myself in that spooky mindset, you know? But yeah, this is and it's also super fitting that we're in autumn here in Stardew, and I think, let's see, oh no, we're not going to finish autumn by the end of October. On the in the real world, we won't quite be there, but I think we'll be done with fall probably by the end of November, which is fitting. So it is a fun time of year. It's just starting to get cool a bit here where I am, and we're having the weather try to stay up a little bit, but we're like right about where it's about to really be a true cold snap, and I'm really excited for it. I love fall, I love winter. Those are my 2 favorite seasons, both in the real world and in Stardew. So it's a really good time of year to be at. It's a good space to be at. And that all began from trying to talk about The Walking Dead. So, like I was saying, I hope everyone's watching and enjoying that. The Walking Dead by Telltale is yet another one of my favorite game series. It's interesting. Right now I'm just doing games that I can categorically say are in my top 10 games. I'm not going to go so far as to say that they're in my top 5 or anything like that, because I've honestly not done that thought process for a lot of these games. Oh yeah, that looks good. But right now, literally everything that's happening on my channel is top favorite games of all time. At least top 10, and that's really exciting for me to think about. Oh, I did have some tiger trout already. Well, I will sell 2 then, so that I just have the 1 to turn in. And no, I'll wait until a rainy day when I can get a catfish in order to turn in that tiger trout. But this is going to take us to the end of this episode of Stardew Valley here, everybody. Thank you all for watching. I again, I apologize for the long-winded discussion bits. That's one of the things I love about this game, and really the bits of sustainability actually are one of the biggest reasons that I think this game is so good at providing commentary on the Anthropocene in general. So this is going to be a big talking point, probably especially going forward at this point, just because we're getting out of getting the farm started, making money consistently. Now we can go whole hog into all of the commentary that it does. So thank you for bearing with me and getting into the conversation. Speaking of the conversation, follow the links to the Facebook page and the Discord server so that you always can join the conversation. I want to hear from you all. That is a big part of this channel, is I want to create a community. And of course, always subscribe so that you always know when I have new videos coming out. But until next time, everybody, this is your game professor signing off.